President-elect Donald Trump says he's going to make America healthy again, and Bobby Kennedy Jr. is the man to do it. People have concerns that with the what and the who. What being, how are you going to do that? How are you going to deal with all these big things and chronic disease and all these things that have puzzled us and plagued us for generations? And Trump loves fast food. Why is he the guy? And Bobby, people think, is half a kook. Okay, yes, I have him on the show. I'm not saying I agree with the assessment, but let's be honest about what it is. So let's bring in somebody who understands both parts of that equation. Dr. Robert Redfield, virologist, still doing a lot of COVID and long vax research, and the director of the CDC from 2018 to 2021. It's good to see you, Doc.
Great, Chris. Thanks for having me.
So let's deal with the what. Let's deal with the with the what first, not the who. You can't end these things. They are part of our culture. Diabetes, chronic disease, fat kids, fat people. You're never going to fix any of it. It's just a promise. Do you believe that?
No.
Why?
I think, and that's really important, Chris, that you brought that up first, because I think fundamental to this mission to make America healthy again is you first and foremost have to believe it's possible. And I'm always reminded about Bobby Kennedy's uncle when he said in 1962, we're going to put a man on the moon before the end of the 60s. And everybody thought he was off the wall, right? We didn't know scientifically how to do this. We had no capacity how to do it, but he believed we were going to do it. And by saying that it was possible, and then he did the next important step. He led our nation to act to accomplish the mission. And I think the same is true for Bobby Kennedy. He knows that we can make America healthy again. He knows it's possible, and he's prepared to lead our nation to accomplish the mission.
So even if he knows it, Trump won't really value it because he's not exactly a picture of fitness consciousness. And just because they want to do it, it could also be a delusion, Bob, because you can't change these government agencies, let alone our culture. Response.
Yeah, I don't agree with that again, Chris, and you know I have great respect for you. I think.
Well, I don't agree with it either, but that is the argument against it. My whole life is about fitness. My wife runs a wellness company. I believe in it, but why should America?
Well, I think the first is to realize where we're at. We're at a critical junction in the health of America. When President Kennedy was president, we had about 3% of the American public was obese. Mm-hmm. Right? We're now over 40%, and some people think we may be as high as 70%.
So isn't that proof that you can't fix it?
No, it's a proof that we've ignored it. Mm-hmm. And I think Kennedy's on to one of the key elements to fixing it. It's not that we are eating more. It's not that we're exercising less. I think he's really on to something. It's that what we put in our body not as healthy. And this idea of hyper-processed food and the idea
we know
it. And that can be changed.
No, here's my pushback, Bob. I got it. Here's what it is. And I'll double layer it, and I'll let you address it. Here's the thing. Can, yes. Will, no way. These companies that have found cheap ways to feed America, they have the leverage. They control the agencies. There's a revolving door. You're one of the only guys who didn't go right back into the private sector. You're doing research in your own practice. They have too much control to get regulated in a way that will make the food what Bobby wants it to be. And Bobby is a kooky anti-vaxxer and won't capture the trust of the American people because of that. Address both.
Yeah, first, for sure, I know that Bob Kennedy is not an anti-vaxxer. You know, I'm one of the biggest advocates of vaccines probably in public health. And I know for a fact that Kennedy's not an anti-vaxxer. What he wants is transparency about vaccines and have an honest dialogue about it. He's not anti-science. Again, he wants transparency about vaccines. I remember when I was a young doctor and I felt that we should go for a class action suit against the tobacco industry. And everybody told me I was nuts. Would never happen. This was in the 70s. And in fact, when I look at where we are today, we actually recognize that the tobacco industry was not in the interest of the health of the American public. And we've changed that. Mm-hmm. I believe we can do the same here. We have to be honest. We have to be consistent. But I do think Kennedy has the leadership capacity, commitment, and passion to get this accomplished.
Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.